We're here tonight to learn how to make the best bread ever to be consumed by a human mouth.
It's very, very simple. This is artisan bread, so it tastes like the best bread you'll ever get, like at a restaurant even. It's just the best bread, but you cannot believe how easy it is. So it takes some time, but it's very, very simple. So you start with 3 1/3 cups of flour. 1. I probably need like a knife to do this, but I'll just do it my way. Okay. 2. Sorry. I did wash my hands.
Have you washed
3,
your hands?
yes. And 1/3. 3 1/3 cups of water. Then
What kind of flour is this?
It's all-purpose flour. You can use bread flour, but I don't use bread flour.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't have any. And then
Yes?
you do a scant ½ teaspoon of yeast.
Define a scant.
Well, it isn't quite to the top. Some recipes call for a 1/4, but I did this before with a ½ and it worked really great. So I'm going to do it again with a 1/4. Scant ½ teaspoon of yeast. And then it seems like a lot, but it isn't. 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, wait.
Is this considered a pinch?
What? No. Here's a ½. And here's... It seems like a lot of salt, but it's really not. And here's
is
1.
This sea salt?
It's just regular salt.
Regular salt. Okay, iodized.
And then, yes. And then you need 1 1/2 cups of room temperature water. Not too hot, not too cold. Sort of just medium.
How do you know when it's room temperature?
I don't know, it's just not too hot or too cold. Okay, there's 1. And a ½. Oh man, he's zooming in. Okay, and then all you do is mix it up. Mix it up.
You don't have to knead it?
Nope. This is no knead. Oops. Artisan bread. And sometimes you kind of have to get your hands in there maybe, but you just have to get all the flour kind of incorporated in.
Now, this is a recipe that was handed down from your mother and grandmother?
No. Mel's Kitchen Cafe. I'm just going to make sure it's all, the flour is mixed in. Fingers. Okay, just pause a minute while I go wash my hands.
Okay, so you're back from washing your hands.
Back from washing my hands. So then you get a piece of plastic wrap. Oh. And then here's how I do it. I put the plastic wrap down there. And then I get out of my messy cupboard any kind of cooking oil spray. And I give it a little spray. And then I put that on top of the bowl. Well, I'm going to push it down a little bit.
Ooh, variations of the theme.
And that's it. And I don't put it on I don't let it raise on my granite countertops because granite is too cold. It stays too cold. So I just put it on my stove like this, and I'll put a clean dish towel over top of it, and you leave it for about 18 hours.
18 hours?
18 hours. So when next we meet, right now it's 9:15, so 18 hours would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, like 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Could you do that one more time just to confirm?
No, 3 o'clock-ish tomorrow afternoon, and we will meet up again then, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, bye. Oh. Okay, take 2.
Action.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. We made it all. It's 18 hours later. It's raised. And we take our plastic wrap off of it. It's doubled, more than doubled in size. We take our plastic wrap off, but we keep it because we're going to need it again. And we make sure that we remember which side has the spray on it, which is that side. Then we put a little bit of spray on your hands.
Spray of what?
Of vegetable oil. Oh, and this is what makes it this recipe good, because there's not flour flying around. It's not messy. You just take a piece of parchment paper and then you give it a little spray with cooking spray, or you could just use oil if you don't have spray. Then you get this out of its bowl, put it onto the parchment paper, and then you kind of pat it into an oval. Get a lot of the air out of it, a lot of the bubbles that have developed with the yeast, but make it into sort of an oval. It's not an exact science. And then after you sort of push it down then you fold it kind of like a burrito, like that, but then you fold this into the center too. Fold
Now it's a chimichanga.
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Ooh, there's some floury parts there. And then you sort of squish it all together like that. Then you turn it over so that the place with no seams is on the top, like that. Smooth it out a little. I don't like that bubble. And then you pick up your parchment paper and you put it on top of something. I'm just using this little cookie sheet here that's here. Then you cover up again with your already sprayed plastic wrap, and then you set it somewhere that probably is not on granite, because remember, granite will make it stay too cold. You set it there for about 2 hours. However, we're going to be making an oven out of cast iron cookware. So not quite 2 hours from now, probably an hour and a half, we're going to heat up the cookware in the oven to a really high heat. But this has to raise for about 2 hours now. So it'll start cooking at about 5. Okay, before you can bake them, you basically make an oven out of a cast iron pan. This is like a Le Creuset, or there's lots of different brands, but you have to put the lid on it and put it in your oven at 450 degrees. So after it comes up to heat, it needs to be in there at 450 for 30 minutes. And then you can get to the next step where you put the bread in. But it heats it up and it makes it like an oven, so that gives the bread its really good crust.
And okay. Action.
Now that my Dutch ovens have been in the oven at 450 for a solid 30 minutes. They've been in for 30 minutes. Now what you have to do is very, very carefully, because they are like an oven themselves.
Holy cow, how hot they are.
They are so hot.
Careful. Be careful.
You have to open up, take up the lid, put it somewhere safe, and then we're going to take the plastic off of our bread loaf. And here's the joy. We just lift up the corners of the bread. You have to be quite careful with it because you can make it fall. And carefully set it into what becomes now an oven. Put the lid back on. And we have 2, so we're going to do another one. Here's this guy. They're very,
so hot, I can
very, very hot. Yeah. Like you have to have really good hot pads even, because
otherwise you burn yourself.
Yeah, bad hot pads can just get sizzled. I'm going to carefully set it in. Then you put the lid back on. Ow! Ow, that's even hot in with my silicone then. And then you put it back in, and we're going to put it on for 30 minutes. Kitchen timer, 30. And then when 30 minutes are over, we're going to take off the lid. And this is all at 450. We're going to take off the lid and cook it for an extra 10 with the lid off. And then, delicious.
And action.
Are you ready for the big unveiling? Here they are after being in the oven for 10 more minutes with the lid off. Let's take a look. Ooh, super hot. Oh, glorious. You have to be very careful because this is
Can you smell that?
Very hot.
Oh, that's beautiful. And you made 2.
I just did. Because honestly, it's as easy to do 2 as 1. Okay, now the problem is, wait, move over. It's kind of a little bit hard to get them out because the paper is nothing. So let's see, we'll try. Oops. Okay. Let's see.
Don't burn yourself.
No, I will not. Oh, beautiful. Oh. Oh, they smell so good. And you don't want to cut them right away because they'll just squish. So you have to leave them for a few minutes. It says 30, but really we're not going to make it to 30. So we'll leave them for 15 or 20 and then we'll cut them.
And action!
Okay, now the payoff. We're going to slice into this beautiful loaf. Except it's kind of hard because it's so crunchy. Hang on. Oh. Oh, beautiful. Smells beautiful. That's
Go with your finger.
what? Oh.
Oh,
Lovely.
yum.
Okay.
Oh, yum. All right. Thank you, Gina. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Happy baking to all you people out there.
Yeah, happy baking.